Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do our top 10 wrestling villains. And this is going to be great. Okay, this is how it's going to work. Joey's going to have a list. I'm going to have a list. Now, I tweaked my list a little bit. I tweaked it a little bit, and I moved some people up and down the dial or down the highway. But I think that this list is going to be fabulous. We're going to have a conversation. I'm going to make Joey go first and do his list, and then we're going to have a conversation, and then I'm going to go last and do my list, and it's going to be great. So, Joey, please, 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 the floor is yours. Give us your top 10
So
list.
am I saying my list and explaining a little bit of why I picked them?
Yes. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to number 10 and go all the way up to number one. And then each time you say a wrestler, just explain, just give a little
Okay.
synopsis as to why you think it belongs there.
Okay. So first thing I'm gonna say before I start my list is I'm gonna have a lot more modern wrestlers just because obviously we know the legends who are some of the best healers in the game, and I have some of them. But for the most part, I picked people who I've seen and who I've grown up watching. So
Exactly.
my list might
Okay.
be a little bit different than typical.
Okay.
But my 10th, hold on, let me count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I got 10. My number 10, and people might look at me like I'm crazy for saying this, but this man at one point in time was the most hated man in wrestling. Number 10 for me is The Miz.
Oh.
You think about that title run when he had that title, the nuclear heat he would get when he was on
Mm,
that title run is
mm,
unmatched.
mm.
Um, Number 9 for me is the wrestling god JBL.
Oh wow.
That
That's a good one.
that whole storyline, him and Cena and stuff, and that whole I think it was just like 2004, 2005, best villain I've ever seen. After that, I have Triple H, the Cerebral Assassin. He speaks for himself. It's pretty straightforward there with him. After that, at number what is that? 7. Number 7, I have the Legend Killer Randy Orton.
Oh. Okay.
Uh,
Yes.
there was that time though, like in the early stages where he went evolution stuff. That guy you just absolutely despise.
Yes.
At number 6, I have that's 6, right? 6. Yeah. Number 6, I have the rated R superstar Edge. Him and Lita, when they were together, some of the best heel work in the business. Number 5, I have Hot Rod Roddy Piper. The
Oh.
infamous coconut shot, the
Oh
Piper's pit.
yeah.
He was such a good heel that people loved him, but you know what I mean. He was a heel you loved to hate. Number 4, I have the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game. Number 3, and this is gonna shock a little bit of people, but for what it meant to the wrestling industry, Hulk Hogan. Hollywood Hulk Hogan was one of the best heels ever. No one saw that coming. It was the turn of the century, and it changed the entire industry. Number 2, and this is only because it's been the most recent to me, and it was some of the funnest TV I can remember watching. The Tribal Chief Roman Reigns.
Hmm.
And number 1, and this one was pretty easy to me, but Vince McMahon. On and off
Mm.
screen, the greatest heel in the history of the wrestling business.
Well, I'm going to tell you this much, Joey. I'm going to shock you with this, but three of those villains that you just mentioned, I have them on my list too, but I have them in different positions.
Okay.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so here's my top 10. Here's my top 10. Okay, so at number 10, I have Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins, well, you all know when he's a heel. He is a nasty heel. He is a dastardly heel. And he will do anything. And when I mean anything to put his opponent down and under. That's Rollins. That's what Rollins do. So I have Rollins there at number 10. Okay. Number 9, I have Sergeant Slaughter. Who doesn't remember Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter? Who doesn't remember that? Who doesn't remember that Sergeant Slaughter and the camel clutch, the cobra clutch, or as they call it? Yeah, he did that. All right. Then we have number 8, the model Rick Martel. Who doesn't remember Rick Martel? He came out with that squirt gun with the perfume, and he used to spray it in the eyes of his opponent. Yeah. Okay. So we have him at number 8. Okay, number 7, I had Mr. Fuji. Who doesn't remember Mr. Fuji? Who doesn't remember him? He used to be the manager of Demolition and so many other tag teams. He used to throw the salt in people's eyes. He used to do all kinds of nefarious things. He was a nasty heel. He was very nasty. Okay, so and here's the thing. Here's the thing. Joey would mention him. Vince McMahon is at number 6. I put Vince McMahon at number 6. Who doesn't remember him and Stone Cold in the bedpan in the hospital? Who don't remember that? or when he poured the cement in Vince McMahon's car. Who doesn't remember that? Who don't remember that? Or the time there when Vince was in the ring with his son and he says, "Don't let him in here," and he comes with the Zamboni and he knocked the Raw set off the air. I mean, who doesn't remember none of those things? Who doesn't remember none of those things? So, number 5, I have Adrian Adonis. Who doesn't remember Adrian Adonis? Who don't remember that? Who doesn't remember Adrian Adonis? I love it. And number 4, I had him too down as well. Me and they had the same thing. Roddy Piper, number 4. Now, me and Joey had Roddy Piper. Yeah, I love me some Roddy Piper. I love Roddy Piper as a heel because he was vicious. And like Joey said brilliantly, the coconut. Who doesn't remember that on Piper's Pit? Him smashing the coconut in his head, and he's eating the banana. that was Piper. That was Piper. That was Piper. That's what he did. Okay. All right. Number 3, I had Rick Rude. Who don't remember ravishing Rick Rude? Who don't remember that? When he used to take those tights and he pulled it down and he had Elizabeth in the back. And he used to, Macho Man was just, he lost his mind when he saw that. Yeah, so I had Rick Rude at number 3. Number 2, I had Ted DiBiase. Who doesn't remember Ted DiBiase? Who remember that? Who doesn't remember that? Yeah, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase with Virgil. Who don't remember that? And he came out with The Undertaker. Who doesn't remember that? The Survivor Series. So, and then at number 1, I had number 1, Hulk Hogan. Who doesn't love Hulk Hogan as a heel? Joey, what did you think about that?
So honestly, so after the show on Friday night, I was asking last week. I was asking some of my co-hosts some names that they thought I should include on the list, and almost all the names you said were mentioned. I'm not gonna lie, Rick Rude and Rick Rude, I think is the only man ever to be in DX and NWO. I think in the same week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the only man ever. But yeah, I definitely agree with your list. Like I said, I went a little more modern off the guys that I, was able to see firsthand. But I have
Right.
no problem with the list you have either.
No, I don't have any problem with yours
The only
either.
issue I have is, did you have Ric Flair?
No, I didn't put down Ric Flair. I did not put down Ric Flair. I did not put down Ric Flair because I kind of knew that you would probably put him down there, and I kind of knew that you were going in that direction. I just thought of these names that came in the top of my head, and I'm like, and who I've seen and who I've experienced,
Yeah,
and then that's what I based that list off of. And seeing their matches and growing up on these men
yeah,
and seeing how dastardly. I mean, another person too is the Grand Wizard. Who doesn't remember the Grand Wizard? Who don't remember that? Who doesn't remember
yeah,
that manager? And Bobby Heenan. Who doesn't remember Bobby Heenan as a heel?
yeah. On
Yeah,
commentary,
yeah, yeah. I mean, Heenan was the person that you really wanted to put your hands around his neck and choke him. That's the
yep,
kind of heel. That is the kind of heel Heenan was. Yeah. So I like I said, this was great. I loved it, and I agree with your list. I totally agree with it. I think it's great. Um,
yeah. No, I definitely agree with what you had on your list. Also, I think it's a very objective question. I think there's no wrong answers with this.
no,
Because it all depends upon like what you like. You know what I mean? So it's very objective, but I definitely think we both did a good job on the list.
yeah, I think we did. I think we did a fabulous job with that, Joey. I mean, like I said before, I say it again. I am an equal opportunist, and I just these are heels that I grew up on, and I'm not a fan. I'm not too much of a fan of a heel. I'm more of a I kind of lean on the babyface side, but then if you look at some of these classic heels, you just want to root for them to get that beat down. you
Yeah,
just you just it's like when are these people gonna get their just desserts?